Shout out to 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson for taking the lead on that,
Right.
with Random House, which is the biggest publishing company in the world.
Wow. That's
And so
unbelievable.
50
Congrats.
believed in me, and he took the lead, and they said, well, we believe in her too. We love her. And so here I am with 2 book deals. My first book, Mental Detox, launches today, and then my second book, Marches in 2026, launches. So I'm excited. I'm a happy camper.
You would like to toast this to the great. Congratulations, 2 book deal, Mental Detox just launched, and another book coming in 2026.
Yes.
Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and I'm not a drinker, but this is some more.
I'm talking about you.
Oh,
It's about to get good in here. It's about to get good.
my chest ain't even burning this, but
No.
this is good.
No.
You know, dark brings. You sure you want this interview after this dark?
I do. That's what I'm looking
Dark
for.
make,
That's what I'm-
dark make you go crazy. Okay. Let me take one
We
more
gonna
sip
be
of
tamed.
dark.
We gonna be tamed. We gonna be tamed the first hour. No.
Now you ain't gonna tell me what to do. Now.
Okay. My bad. Let's go back. Let's start where it began.
Yeah,
You're a native Los Angeles.
I am.
As a kid, what were you like as a child?
But was Cheyenne like?
Yes,
as a
what was
child?
Cheyenne like as a child?
I was always feisty and strong. Always an overthinker, a processor. I was naturally an analyst. I've always been the leader amongst my friend group who are also leaders. You know, I don't have followers in my group. Everybody's leading.
Everybody's a leader.
Everyone leads. I love that. We're all strong, and we all are so solid and vertical within ourselves that we don't need followers.
Right.
We solid with the leadership. I was a product of teenage parents. My parents were 16 when they had me. They were high school sweethearts, and they planned me. And so I was
Really?
a product of a oopsie. They said, hey, walking home from school one day, a true story. My father brags about it all the time. He says, baby, you were made from love. And he says they were walking home and they planned me, and they can only afford a motel. And they went and paid for a motel, and they conceived me. Yeah, I was born conceived in a motel, y'all. Okay, in a motel, and then and then here I go. And so my grandparents stepped in and raised me because my parents were obviously teenage parents that didn't understand that you have to raise a child after you birth a child.
Because they were basically kids themselves
kids.
trying to raise a kid. Nobody had look.
Yeah.
There's really no guide to how to be a parent. I mean, everybody thinks they had it figured out, but at 16.
Yeah,
We're kids trying to figure out our life, and now we brought another life into the mix.
there you go.
And so, I mean, it's like you're growing up beside, like, your parents are like 20, you're a 4 or 5 year old.
Yeah.
And you're like, is that your sister? Is that your brother?
And so we grew up together.
Yes.
We grew up together. And
What was that like?
It was actually, it was amazing. My father, he ended up being one of the biggest gangster and dope dealers in the South Bay area. And, moving weight to the East Coast, Ohio being one of them, Youngstown. And I could tell it now because it's no longer going on. But he
Right.
transitioned from being one of the biggest dope dealers into being one of the biggest entrepreneurs and a longshoreman here in Los Angeles, which is working for the port for 20 years. And I got to see him go from the hood to the hills.
Wow.
And it was really beautiful seeing that. I mean, Shannon, we would come home days when he was in his gangster era, and I couldn't have a key to the house. I couldn't be there alone. And he would have to go in the house with a pistol first and check everything to make sure we can go in. I had the password to the safe that was in the garage, and so that if anybody came in, give them everything, don't let them hold you hostage or do any of that. So I grew up a product of a street guy, a straight gangster who didn't play about me, who if I made a phone call, he was going to air it out. And that was a luxury for me. And so I was on Sway's radio one time, and he said, Doc, you talk about your upbringing and your father and being the little girl from the inner city as though it was like an honor. You don't talk about it in a way that's like, I came from the hood, and
Right.
it was all this adversity. It was adversity. But I'm a proud little girl from the hood, and I'm a proud product of a father who was a street daddy.
Right.
I'm a proud product of a mother who, also was in the streets with him. And if it wasn't for me being a product of them, I wouldn't know how to create the peace and the tools that I have now to provide to my clients, to your viewers, to everyone else who follows me, because I wouldn't have had to bear crawl to understand how to get out this thing called the inner city. Wow. And I always say it wasn't me knowing where I was going. It was me knowing that I had to get the hell out of there.
Right.
And oftentimes, I think of all ages, people get stuck in, well, I don't know where I'm going. What's my purpose? All you really need to know, Shannon, is that I don't want
I'm
to
not
fucking
staying
be
here.
here. I don't want to be here. And that day that I realized that, I put my track shoes on, even though people see heels every day now, and my track shoes are still on. I'm never taking them off.
Right.
And I ran as far as I could. I ran into 6 degrees, 3 doctorates, a master's degree, a house at 19, my first home, a daycare at 19, 3 retail stores on Merrill's.
Well, damn, you was a professional student.
Ran. But I was a professional student for a long time and entrepreneur. But I really want people to know, and I know we're early on in the interview, but I want people to know who are watching that you do not have to know where you are going. You just have to know you want to get the hell up out of whatever you're in, whether it's a relationship, a circumstance, an environment, just go. And when you start to trust God, he does something really special, which is ordering your steps. And as he orders your steps and you stay vertical in who you are and you lean on him and all your understanding, you nest in that word and you call him out on his principles that are in the Bible that he promises you, I'm telling you, God shows up and he shows out. And he does give you back the time that the locusts and the cankerworms took from you. He really does give that back to you. So I want folks watching this to know that, listen, I was just a little girl in the hood, and I promise you, there was nothing around me. Not to put the people down around me, there was nothing in my environment that I looked at and said I want to be. There was everything in my environment that said, hell no, and hell no. And those hell no's got me to all my yeses. So I just want people to know that early on, because people look at me or yous and they're like, they're way over there. I'm not way over there for people.
Right.
I'm still touchable. I'm still that little girl in the hood.
Wow.
I just happen to grow up and make different decisions now.
Right.
But I'm still her. And I never, ever will not claim her. I never will not allow her to show up in a conversation and not allow her to be in her abandonment sometimes. And I will always make sure she knows you can feel that way as a little girl. The woman in me, I have your back. And I'll knock everything off this table for you every time. That's what self-love is. And I want people, men and women, to know that, especially within our community, because it's important that they see our wounds, not just the healed Dr. Bryant, because that's not where it started.
So you made a conscious decision that I'm not going to be a product of my environment, and I'm not going to be my circumstances in which I'm currently in. You made that decision at a very, very young age that, you know what? Yes, this is my environment. I don't really see anybody that I aspire to be like.
Yeah.
So let me get the hell out of here and find some people that I do aspire to be like.
There you go. And I'm the oldest of 7.
Oh, so that's
And
why.
I'm the first grandchild. So there was nobody ahead of me, Shannon, to say this is the blueprint. It was just folks around me to show me what not to do. And I say this about a lot of folks who are PCs, pastor kids, right? Or they got parents who've been married 30, 40 years.
Right.
And the marriage is rocking and rolling. Oftentimes, those kids are robbed of seeing all of the fake perfection.
Yes.
And not seeing what not to do. So they usually come out that household and they're extremely rebellious and they end up doing the total opposite of what their
they've been
parents did.
taught.
And I say this, because I love Cam. Me and Cam, we are great friends. Cam has thanked me for a lot of the impact, positive impact I've had on him.
Cam Newton or Cam
Cam
Ron?
Newton. Cam
Okay,
Newton.
okay.
Cam Newton.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you say Cam.
I know,
okay.
Cam Newton. Let's clear it up. Cam Newton. But I say, and I want to say, Cam is a perfect example of what I just described. He is a pastor's child.
Yes.
His parents are still married.
Yes.
He comes from good stock.
Yes.
And we're not saying that Cam ain't good stock,
Right.
but his decisions are not good stock.
Okay.
So just want to show people the example of what I'm referring to. Then you get a little girl like me from the inner city, and parents are teenage parents. We got a lot of trauma and different drug dealing and drug addiction and things going on and trauma in the house. And I had the luxury of seeing what not to do. And I just knew if I did the opposite, it had to be better than that. And it ended up being way better than that.
Now it makes sense to me why your dad was so enamored. You're the oldest. You're the girl. You're the oldest. You're daddy's girl.
Daddy's girl.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because we like to do something before 2 something.